In the headlines, 1 dead, 3 injured in Kuje prison attack as bandits attack President Buhari's advance convoy in Katsina. OPEC Secretary General Muhammad Burkindo dies hours after visiting Buhari. Displaced persons in Zamfara ask government to rescue abducted villagers. And away from Nigeria, Highland Park parade shooting, suspects charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. At least 1 person has died while 3 others were injured in an attack on the Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja, the nation's capital, on Tuesday evening. Explosions and gunshots were heard from the correctional center, causing confusion among residents of Kuje area. The federal government has now confirmed that suspected Boko Haram terrorists stormed the facility to rescue their members. The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Shuaibu Belgore, said on Wednesday during a visit to the facility that about 600 prison inmates fled in the attack. He, however, gave assurances that over 300 of the inmates have been rearrested.
The inmates here, 994 is the population of inmates, and when they broke out with approximately, because these people came specifically, we understand they are Boko Haram, they came specifically for their co-conspirators, but in order to get them, some of them are in general population, so they broke out, and other people in that general population escaped as well. But many of them have returned. They have reported themselves to the police, some have returned, some we have successfully retrieved from the bushes where they are hiding, and right now at least we have retrieved about 300 out of about 600 that got out of the jail cells. And the retrieval is going on. We receive reports that there are still about 50-60 that have been intercepted somewhere just a little outside town here. And you will have heard the helicopters hovering overhead. They are locating the different locations where these people are. The military checkpoints and police checkpoints from here to Abuja, from here to Suleja, from here to town, everywhere, everybody is on high alert. And the inmates are being retrieved even as we speak. We don't know how many were killed among the attackers, but it's quite possible that they took their injured and other casualties with them. But on our side, just one death and about 3 injuries.
Nigeria's received
that they took their injured.
Meanwhile, gunmen suspected to be bandits have attacked the convoy of President Muhammadu Buhari in Katsina State. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, confirmed this in a statement on Tuesday. He explained that a convoy of cars carrying the advance team of security guards, as well as protocol and media officers, ahead of the president's trip to Daura for Salah, came under attack near Dutima in Katsina. The attackers, according to Shehu, opened fire on the convoy from ambush positions, but they were repelled by operatives of the military, police and the Department of State Services accompanying the convoy. He said that 2 persons in the convoy who sustained minor injuries were receiving treatment, while all other persons made it safely to Daura. Now, our correspondent in Zamfara State, Abdullahi Amadi, joins us via phone to give an update. Thank you, Abdullahi, for joining us on the news update this moment.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so Abdullahi, what do we know so far about the casualties from that incident?
Well, sorry to make a little correction. This is Katsina, not Zamfara. And from what we have on the ground now, like you said, the convoy has made it to the right safely, but the two other persons are receiving medical attention here in Katsina. But yet, there was another incident of ambushing the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Aminu Umar, who was ambushed and killed by terrorists at Ayo village of Safana local government area here in Katsina State. The terrorists ambushed and killed ACP Aminu Umar on Tuesday in the evening, following a distress call he received from some farming communities on the activities of these bandits. The ACP was until his death. The area commander, Kusuma area commander of the Nigeria police, and according to reports, he was killed by these terrorists. And indeed, Aminu Umar was at the forefront in the fight against terror in Katsina State, who have been pushing the terrorists and following them to their hideouts. So many of the terrorists have been killed and neutralized by this group of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Aminu Umar. And of course, according to reports, members of the team, when they came under fire from the terrorists, they made several attempts to get reinforcement from their sister security agencies, but to no avail. And the SCP has been buried so far, 11 o'clock this morning at the village in Manufashi local government area of Katsina State amid tears. People in Jusima and other neighboring local governments such as Kankara, Safana, Musa, but Jibia, and of course, Koiti local government, the local governments that are very close to Jusima, in a serious fear now that they are left at the mercy of God, that nobody, most likely there will be nobody to fight the terrorists like what Amin Umar has been doing. And the entire people in Katsina State, especially from the local government aforementioned, in a serious state of mourning. That's all I know about it, and reports are still coming in.
Okay. Now, on the president's convoy attack, what else can you tell us, aside from what the statement by the presidency has put out there?
Well, what people are saying here in Katsina, that road that links Kaduna and Katsina, especially from Zaria, Tanja, Maraban, Kankara, up to Dusuma to Katsina. That road was used to be closed, especially in the evening hours. And people wonder why the convoy choose to follow that road at a point or rather in a time like this when terror attack is increasingly taking lives of so many people in Katsina State. So, but yet they followed that road, and of course, what happened has happened, and those that sustained injuries are receiving medical attention at the Federal Medical Center here in Katsina. And in fact, that's all I know about it.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Abdullahi Ahmadi, for the update on that. We'll continue to keep tab as the information unfolds. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Next, you will provide other information and updates as they unfold.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Now, moving on a sad note, the Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, Mohammed Sanusi Burkindo, has died. Burkindo died on Tuesday evening, according to the Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari, in a tweet. He said the outgoing OPEC Secretary General died at about 11 p.m. on Tuesday, 5th of July, 2022, describing the death as a great loss to his immediate family, the NNPC, Nigeria, the OPEC, and the global energy community. Late Burkindo earlier on Tuesday had been honored by President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja for his work at OPEC, whose tenure as the Secretary General was scheduled to expire this July. The president described him as a worthy ambassador of the country.
Management to OPEC in the first 6 years, and your efforts have placed the organization in a stronger position to confront the challenges it will face in the coming years. The government and people of Nigeria are indeed proud of you and your achievements. I have directed the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC to mobilize the Nigerian oil and gas industry to organize a befitting welcome reception in your honor.
Bearer arrangements for the former OPEC Secretary General will be announced shortly. Now, relatives of the Abuja-Kaduna train attack victims on Wednesday staged a peaceful street protest demanding the release of their loved ones who have been in captivity for over 100 days. The protest commenced from Nepa roundabout to other streets in the Kaduna metropolis. Civil society groups and trade union Congress participated in the peaceful protest, calling on the government to rescue the remaining victims.
With us, one can only imagine what our loved ones have been going through in these last 100 days in the deep forest. You know, the same clothes, no clean water to drink, no medical care. A lot of them are sick. One has even been shot and is injured. We don't know his condition now. We have been talking to the government. We have been appealing to the government agencies in the last 100 days to rescue our loved ones. But so far, we have not seen much. It is really very disappointing. We are appealing again to the government to do all that is necessary to bring out our loved ones in the shortest time possible. If we all remember, our loved ones, they are inside in the bush. In the bush. Today we're just 3 days away from Eid al-Kabir. We are praying that they will spend the Eid al-Kabir with us. This is our hope, this is our prayer to the government.
The Ansaru terrorist group that attacked the Kaduna-Abuja train in March has threatened to begin slaughtering the victims in their custody. Daily Trust reported last week that one of the victims was critically injured after being shot by one of the abductors, which they claimed was an accidental discharge. Audio in circulation on Tuesday was believed to be a voice of one of the group members threatening to slaughter the victims because the government failed to seek their release. Confirming the authenticity of the audio, a Kaduna-based publisher, Tukur, who has been an intermediary between the group and the government, said that the audio was real and the group had fixed Wednesday to carry out the threat. Now, displaced residents of Mada district of Gusau local government area of Zamfara state are appealing to the federal government and Zamfara state government to ensure that 10 of their family members who are still in bandits' captivity are safely rescued and reunited with them. They made the appeal in an exclusive chat with Trusttv News at Barakallahu area of Qatar Kwashi Emirate, where they are currently seeking refuge from bandits who sacked them at their various communities. The report.
Few weeks ago, suspected bandits invaded some villages at Mada district of Gusau local government area of Zamfara state, setting houses, foodstuff and other properties ablaze. They killed and abducted an unspecified number of residents of the communities, while others took to their hills for safety. Barakalal area of Qatar Koshi Emirate is housing several of the displaced persons who were sacked by the suspected bandits. Mariam Yusufu, one of those who ran from Gidanbai to Barakalal area for safety, narrated the gruesome killing of her husband Yusufu and the aftershock that led to the death of his co-wife. Another displaced woman, who identified herself as Adiza Bayi, said the bandits killed her younger brother and her daughter, burned their house, foodstuff and clothing, and left them with nothing.
The bandits slaughtered my husband like a ram. After the incident, my co-wife died because of trauma. We don't have what to eat. They burned our community and everything we have. We don't have clothing to wear, food to eat, and no house to live in. They killed our husbands. The bandits abducted 10 persons from our community.
Other victims of the bandit attacks said 10 of their family members are still in captivity, adding that the abductors have demanded 15 million naira as ransom.
The bandits killed my younger brother and my daughter, burned our houses, and carted away with our valuables. We don't have anything in the community. We don't have food to eat until we go out to beg before we can get food to eat. We want the government and rich people to assist us with food to eat, clothing to wear, and shelter. They destroyed our communities and rustled our cattle. We are begging the government to restore security and peace, to enable us to go to our communities, to carry out farming of what we would eat.
The village head of Burkindo area of Kwatar Kaushi Emirate, Muhammadu Usman, appealed to the state and the federal government to intensify efforts in the fight against banditry so that peace can return to the state and live without fear of terror. People have been helping the displaced persons here with food and clothing, but anyone who left his or her place elsewhere would not have rest of mind because he or she wants peace to be restored so that he or she can return home. We thank the federal and the Zamfara state government for what they have been doing. However, we want them to do more to tackle the insecurity situation to restore peace so that the displaced persons can go back to their homes to carry out farming. The displaced persons' major concerns and prayer are to witness the speedy restoration of peace at various communities and in Zamfara state in general so that they can return to carry out farming activities.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break. Coping with rising food prices. Details and more shortly. Join us again. Welcome back. Here is a reminder of our top stories. 1 death, 3 injured in Kuje prison attack as bandits attack President Buhari's advance convoy in Katsina. OPEC Secretary General Muhammad Burkindo dies hours after visiting Buhari. In other news, President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 7 ministers recently screened and confirmed by the Senate. The brief swearing-in event was done in 2 batches of 4 and 3 each before the start of the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House in Abuja. The first batch to be sworn in were Henry Ikechukwu Iko, Abia State, Umana Okon Umana, Akwa Ibom State, Odum Odi, River State, and Ademola Adewole Adegoroye, Ondo State. The second batch included Umar Ibrahim Eliakub, Kano State, Goodluck Nana Opia, Imo State, and Eguma Kama Joseph Nkama, Ebonyi State. 5 ministers were moved around due to the cabinet reshufflement, while the new ones were assigned portfolios. The portfolios of the new ministers and reshufflement of 5 old ministers include Umana Okon Umana, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Bemisola Saraki, Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Olorunigbe Mamora, Minister of Science and Technology, Sharon Ikazu, Minister of State, Niger Delta Affairs, and Muazu Jaji Sambo, Minister of Transportation. Others were Umar Ibrahim El Yaqub, Minister of State, Works and Housing, Goodluck Nana Opia, Minister of State, Education, Ekumakama, Joseph Nkama, Minister of State, Health and Eco, Henry Ikechukwu, Minister of State, Science and Technology, Odum Udi, Minister of State, Environment, and Ademola Adewole Adegoroye, Minister of State, Transportation. Now, Nigerians are lamenting the rise in cost of living following soaring food prices as inflation hits a 4-year high. In this report, Ibrahim Ismail from Gombe reports that there is an air of uncertainty among majority of Nigerians as inflation is set for the 8th consecutive monthly increase. Take a look.
This is the residence of Dr. Habib Muhammad, residing in Tabra area along Gombe bypass. He caters for a family of 10. He said taking care of his family has been very challenging due to inflation. He said prices of basic amenities are highly exorbitant, pushing beyond his affordability limits.
This is because of the hike in food prices. Whatever you used to buy a few years ago, like 100 naira, it is now almost 300. Not just, it is thrice the price you used to buy it. If I may give an example, a few years ago, we used to buy maize, that's corn. The bag is about 7,000, 8,000. This is just 5 years, 5, 6 years. It's about 7,000, 8,000. But now the price is 17, 18, 19. There was a time that the price was more than 20,000. When you look at rice as well, the price is now 19, 17, 18, 19, 20,000. This is per bag.
Habib urged government and other stakeholders to intervene by regulating prices of commodities in markets.
Definitely nobody can do that except the authority, because it is a responsibility of the authority to checkmate the inflation. This is because we don't have shortage of these items. We don't have shortage of rice, shortage of maize. When you go to market, you see it in abundance. But because of the inflation, so the prices are always hiking.
This year, people from different parts of the world have been crying over high cost of living, a factor that affects the poor and the rich in developed and developing countries, just like in the United Kingdom and Nigeria. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trusttv.
The House of Representatives on Tuesday lamented the failure by the leadership of government agencies in charge of fuel supply to respond to its invitations to this end. The House has read a riot act to the agencies. The agencies are the NNPC Limited, the CBN, the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the Federal Ministry of Finance, and the Accountant General of the Federation Office. Take a look.
The ad hoc committee on the volume of daily consumption of fuel was set up on Thursday, sequel to a motion sponsored by Honorable Sergius Ogun at plenary. Part of its mandate was to investigate and determine the daily consumption of PMS, premium motor spirit, in the country. But the absence of critical stakeholders like the NNPC, the NPA, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Accountant General of the Federation, and even the Minister of Finance and her permanent secretary at the hearing infuriated members, including the representative of the Speaker, Honorable Peter Akpakseson.
It is not acceptable to the Parliament that people, organizations that are saddled with the responsibility of managing a critical assignment like the distribution and accounting for the distributed and sold PMS in this country will be reluctant to come here to do their duty.
Mr. Speaker, the reason why we had this long list of invitees is as a result of initial engagement we had with some of them, and of course we had some capacity building, twice, one in Abuja and one in Lagos. That was where we came to the conclusion that we need a holistic participation in order to have input from wide range of participants in the oil industry.
The paying agency, which is the CBN, PPMC, and all of those are not here. What data, what facts can we get from those who are also onlookers or contributors? It must first come from them. In a nation where we have an annual appropriation of about 17 trillion and we're spending over 6 trillion on subsidy alone, almost half of the nation's revenue, and nobody takes this seriously. I'm not too sure whether we want the nation to succeed or whether we want it to go completely under.
However, the committee still went ahead with proceeding after intervention by some members advising that legislative time should not be wasted. It then gave time to agencies like IPMAN, DAPMAN, Governors Forum, the Organized Labour, amongst to make submissions.
Mr. Chairman, I want us to look at how many of us who have traveled from far and near to be here, how parliamentary man-hour is very expensive. I want to put some amendment to the motions moved by my colleagues to say that a few of them who are legally here, Mr. Chairman, we can take them. But those who are here and do not have the capacity to represent their bosses, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask that.
And with that, we wrap up the news update. Watch more via all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.